If you think being in a fat loss phase means eating chicken, broccoli, and rice every single day, well, I want to show you guys exactly what I'm eating for myself. And I'm here to tell you, it does not have to be that boring. So in today's video, what I want to do is actually go through one of my most recent grocery hauls and a couple of my favorite go-to grocery shopping list items that I pick up on the regular, especially when I'm in a fat loss phase as well. So some that you can also take and run with so that you could not only be in your fat loss phase and eat the foods that you enjoy eating, but also have some of the foods that you can just have on repeat, and it just makes the entire fat loss phase for yourself simple. Now, another thing that I also want to highlight in today's video too is not just go eat this, but exactly how can you go to the grocery store and how can you search for the foods that are gonna taste good to you, but also fit in your calories and also fit in your macronutrients at the end of the day so that you hit your goals. Because if you can do that, fat loss becomes a whole lot easier for you to stick to. Okay, so I'm not trying to say that there's anything wrong with eating chicken, broccoli, and rice on a consistent basis, okay? Myself, I actually have many different variations where I have chicken, broccoli, and rice, and maybe I do a little bit of soy sauce or a little bit of sriracha, and then the other day I do a little bit of Alfredo. There are so many different variations that you can use to simply spice up meals like that and actually make them taste good. And that's something I want to dive into today's video as well so that you are successful in your next grocery haul. But before we dive into that, I just really want to share with you and let you know that you don't have to completely overhaul your entire grocery shopping trip. You don't have to get perfect at meal planning and meal prepping, because there's all of these different ways of meal prepping, whether it's bulk prepping, whether it's full on meal prepping, or just having some simple go-to ideas as well. Again, we don't have to have all of our ducks in a row in order for you to get started in a fat loss phase. But a lot of times, if you're just getting started in a fat loss phase, you can see the first 10 pounds or so, maybe even more, get dropped by simply just doing something that I like to personally call macro swapping. Okay, and that's kind of what we're gonna dive into in this video as well. Macro swapping is basically building awareness as to what is in the foods that you're buying, okay? Because you can buy chicken tenders from one brand and they are not gonna be suitable in a fat loss phase. Will they taste amazing? Probably, but at the same time, it might not hit the macros. However, I found a lot of variations that not only taste amazing, but they're also amazing when it comes to the macronutrient ratios and the total calories as well. And we're gonna dive into a little bit more as to what macro swapping is, and then the ingredients or the grocery shopping list that helps you have these ingredients that are macro swapped or have better ratios. But the main thing I wanna share with you is give yourself time to invest when you go to the grocery store, okay? Flip those nutrition labels around, take that time, read the nutrition labels, because if you give yourself that little bit of extra time and you build the nutritional awareness, you're gonna know exactly what and what is not going to help you reach your fitness goals. So that being said, guys, learn from a lot of the time that I have wasted in the past, and not only that too, but a lot of times with clients as well. If you're able to, slowly learn what foods have the best macros for you, what foods do not have the best macros. And keep in mind too that a fat loss phase is gonna look very different than being in a muscle building phase as well. So keep that in mind. With that being said, guys, let's dive on in now into this grocery haul. All right, but before we dive in, I do have to be transparent. A couple disclaimers here. I have actually done this grocery haul a couple days back, so I might have to just explain some of the ingredients. And then next to that as well, as we go through these food options, don't just think about it as, okay, I need to pick up that specific option. Oh, I might not have that specific option. Keep that in mind. When you go to the grocery store and you're shopping for yourself, maybe think about this more so as, what is the closest variation that I might have at my store? All right? Let's dive in. All right, y'all, it is time for the fun part. Let's go over the grocery haul, all right? So first things first, how do I wanna go about tackling this? I wanna start out over here with the proteins, and then that will sort of kind of segue over into the carbohydrates and the fat options as well. But at the same time, I'm probably going to describe how I consume a lot of these as a meal together as well. So with that being said, guys, let's dive right on in, starting over here with the protein, okay? So for myself, I typically do gravitate towards the chicken breast to get started, okay? And the chicken breast, actually, it's already been meal prepped, or I should say bulk prepped here. So for myself, I actually like to use this. As you can see, I'm running very low already. I like to use a Tupperware container for myself, and I buy a whole family pack of chicken breast, and then I just cook it all up at one time, and then I'll just chop it up so it's ready to go, and I'll throw it in one big Tupperware container, and I typically consume that pretty quickly. Next up on deck, I do also like to have lean ground beef. This one is 96.4 as well, so that's typically what I buy in a fat loss phase. And then also, if I want to treat myself a little bit, we have some cooked shrimp tail off. So this is actually kind of a recent thing that I've been doing recently. I will buy some of these quick Minute Maid rice, or I will also use my rice cooker, and I'll have jasmine rice as well. But if you want to know a super simple, very quick meal prep idea, you can buy one of these quick 90 second or 1 minute microwavable packs of rice, and then also buy the cooked shrimp with the tail off. And you can literally go half of this and a good portion of this and put it in 2 different Tupperware containers, and guess what? That's meal prep right there. If you add a little bit of Alfredo on top of that and a little bit of shredded mozzarella fat-free cheese, that right there, super quick, super tasty meal. So that's what I kind of like to do with the shrimp. Also next to that, for breakfast, myself, I usually like to always have eggs, whether that's whole eggs over here or liquid egg whites as well. And since I'm pretty far into a fat loss phase, I typically add about, and this is gonna sound like a lot, 200 grams of liquid egg whites, and then I do 1 whole egg as well. And then I use that to cook up, or to make 2 of my English muffin breakfast sandwiches here, which I actually do use 2 slices of thick cut bacon with that as well. And I know that I can have the thick cut bacon, and I can have these 2 because I track my nutrition, guys. And tracking your nutrition, it is game changer, because if you know your numbers, especially at the end of the day, and then you do that over a period of time, that right there, that is how fat loss actually happens. So also, on the protein side of things, I have plain non-fat Greek yogurt. This one is not plain, this one is vanilla. I like to use vanilla. And then the Premier Protein cereal over here, this one is chocolate almond cereal. Super delicious. I like to add about 200 grams of the vanilla non-fat Greek yogurt. 1 serving of this. If I'm really carbing up before a workout, I'll add about 1 serving of honey in with that. And then something that's not out here is I then like to actually add almond milk on top of that as well. Kind of a different, unique texture and concoction, but it works. Actually, my dad taught me that one, and it is super tasty. So shout out to you there, Dad. Next to that as well, guys, for the protein sources, of course, we have our supplements, okay? So if I'm really in a pinch, I always go with First Form. We have First Form salted peanut butter. This one is the OG. I also do use this machine back here, which is my Ninja Creamy, and this one makes amazing Ninja Creamy ice cream. Next to this as well, First Form also has a clear whey protein, which is more like a juice. This one is actually the Summer Smash exclusive. I was able to go over to Summer Smash not too long ago in St. Louis, and it was one heck of an awesome time. But this one is their Orchard Splash. So if you're a big fan of apple juice, this one tastes just like that. And they have tons of other flavors as well on the First Form website. And that's typically what I like to use with the supplement protein side of things. Since we're on the topic of supplements as well, I do 5 grams of creatine every single day. And with that, because one of the most important factors of using creatine is making sure that you're staying on top of your hydration, I do also have 1 gallon of water every single day as well. And then next to that, on the supplement side of things, this one is completely optional, but it is the fun one. Of course, we have pre-workout. I like to use Megawatt a lot of times, and sometimes I'll also get like the First Form energy drinks or the Form energy drinks as well, because those taste amazing and they hit. Something that's not a main source of protein is fat-free cheese, whether it is the cheddar or Kraft also has mozzarella fat-free cheese as well. Now, if you shop at Walmart, a lot of times, I know if you shop at Walmart, they have their own brand as well. Just take a look at the nutrition labels, just kind of compare those. But nonetheless, the fat-free cheese, yes, is it the healthiest option? Not necessarily, but it does get me to my macros at the end of the day. So if I'm following that 80-20 rule, this is kind of part of that 20, but it still provides me with that flavor, and it also keeps my macro ratios really on point as well. Now, with this being said as well, guys, switching more so over here. Oh, I almost forgot for the protein side of things. Now, typically, I do stick with First Form whey protein bars. However, I was in a pinch, and so I needed to grab some protein. This one is the Pure Protein. Went with the Cocoa Pebbles, not gonna lie. This one caught my eye, and these ones are actually a little bit lower in calories compared to the First Form ones, which are typically around 270 grams of calories, or excuse me, 270 calories, and right around 20 grams of protein. The Pure Protein one here is 180. So there are options out there that might be a little bit more suitable towards a fat loss phase. And this is where, and this is why I always say, take a look at the nutrition labels, because they might change as you go about your fitness goals. If you're diving really deep in a fat loss phase and your calories are getting lower and lower and lower, which you inevitably have to change your calories over time, then guess what? Sometimes you have to start learning which options are going to be best suited at the right time of your fat loss phase. All right, next to that as well. This is where I might dive in. So of course we got jasmine rice. We got rice here. Quick options. A lot of times I'll mix my 93.7 or 93.7 or 96.4 lean ground beef with the rice as well. Or I might even use a bun, which I don't have out here right now, but I might use like a hamburger bun. And you can make burgers in a fat loss phase as well. Just load it up with the veggies. I like to do pickles, tomato, lettuce, and then I either choose cheese or mayo and then a little bit of ketchup. That's my personal favorite, but that right there means that you can have the burger in a fat loss phase. And speaking of that too, you can have pizza in a fat loss phase as well. I've never tried this brand. It caught my eye. It has 33 grams of protein. This one is Vital Pursuit Chicken Mozzarella Pizza. And I have another one in here, which is kind of my OG favorite, pepperoni pizza. They have one of those as well. And yeah, there's a lot of options out there that are kind of like fun, tasty options, kind of like this. You know, I don't consider this a whole protein source. This is something that I typically spice up one of my meals with. I like to always try and get as much of my food from real protein sources as much as possible. Now, the one thing that I did not mention over here on the protein side of things yet is this really good brand. This one is the lightly breaded chicken breast filet. I buy these things all the time. I gotta read the macros to you guys on these. Okay, so this is like that, it has that deep fried, crusted vibe for the nuggets, patties, whatever. But the macros are pretty amazing. So for one filet here, we have 23 grams of protein. That's solid. Only 5 grams of carbs, which this is, again, it's like it's battered. So only 5 is really good. And then this one does have 7 grams of fat as well. So that's a little bit up there. But of course, it's a way better trade-off than if you're going for a normal deep fried option. For this, man, I do so many options with this. I will take these extreme wellness wraps over here, which are a super low calorie version, 100 calories here. They got 2.5 fat, 25 grams of carbs, and 6 grams of protein here. I'll take usually one of these wraps and then one of these really good chicken patties, dice up that chicken patty, and then I'll do all these type of variations. I'll throw some kind of sauce on there. Maybe I'll take a little bit of the plain non-fat Greek yogurt, mix that with some salt, some pepper, I might go the ranch seasoning route from there, or I might go more so the taco seasoning, which give me 1 second. I'll take a look here. Okay, so we got a couple seasoning options here. This one is the ranch seasoning that I typically like to add in to the plain non-fat Greek yogurt. Another one too is Slap Ya Mama, which this one is a newer one to me. Definitely a nice little occasion hit. And then from here, I also like to have taco seasoning in there too. So if you do, not with the vanilla Greek yogurt, of course, but the plain non-fat Greek yogurt, I'll do like 150 grams of that. I do add quite a bit. And then I will add in some taco seasoning, mix that in, salt and pepper, mix that up really good. And then I'll actually sometimes do some guacamole with that as well. Put that on this, with this, a little bit of lettuce, tomato. My gosh, that is so, so tasty. Just got to make sure that you're folding those wraps the right way. That's important. Also, part of breakfast, I might have mentioned this, or maybe I didn't, but for pretty much every morning, I like to have breakfast sandwiches, and I do 2 of them. And this provides me with the carbs for my workout, which we're actually getting ready to go do here right now. And what else? A couple fun ones here for you. So I already dove into this, of course. Did you know that Doritos, okay? Doritos actually makes a protein option now for their Doritos. Did not know this. Now, am I smacking this down and am I saying, I hit my protein goal today and I did hit him on Doritos? No, but this right here, if I have that craving for something, this fixes my craving really, really quick. The macros on this, once again, you gotta hear this. 150 calories, 8 grams of fat per serving, 8 grams of carbs, and 10 grams of protein. Way better than your typical normal Dorito. So goes a long way sometimes when you choose this option and then you choose this option instead of the other option. And then same thing with ramen noodle, okay? Check out this option right here. We have Chef Wu, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but 20 grams of protein in here. And fat, 14 grams, which that's up there a little bit, but that's for this whole container, okay? And then next set as well, we have 29 grams of carbs, 20 grams of protein in here. And what I like to typically do is I take my bulk prepped chicken breast, dice it up really good, add that in here as well. So with that being said, guys, a lot of times spices are the spice of life, quite literally, or sauces for myself as well. You got to be very careful when it comes to sauces though, because sauces can be racked way up there in the calories if you're not watching them. Prime example of one that is high in calories but tasty to me, and so I'll have it every here and there, and I will make sure I'm using the food scale. Sweet Baby Ray's, we got the Ray's Secret Sauce. This one, I'll put in a little bit closer. Maybe I'll focus in. All right, so this one, super tasty. Again, gotta use that sparingly. A lot of times I like to use that with the Extreme Wellness Wrap, a little bit of the chicken, super tasty. A lot of times too, if I'm doing anything rice and shrimp or rice and chicken as well, I might do something like the soy sauce mixed in with a little bit of sriracha. That one tastes amazing. Or another option too is maybe one of these really good chicken and rice or protein noodles. And I might even do one of these patties with some of this pasta sauce on top of that as well. Another really good option there. So again, it's very important that all of your meals every single day and every single meal, you want to make sure you're prioritizing protein with every single meal. That should be the first option that you think of, okay? What is my main protein source in this meal? Then what is going to be my carbohydrate source? And typically from there, the sauces or the spices that you use kind of fill in the gap with the fat as well. So this is just kind of a get started option here. But the one thing I really want to highlight is, you know, you can eat chicken broccoli rice to a T and just eat everything perfect, okay? Perfect. But you could still be over on calories and not lose body fat. Or you can also eat foods that are not healthy and they are not a good investment. They have terrible ratios, but you could be in a calorie deficit. Yeah, you could be losing weight on that, but you're not going to give your body ample amount of protein to hold on to muscle mass, which is the most important thing. And so it's very important to make sure that when you're shopping, you're flipping the nutrition labels around, looking at the protein, looking at the carbs, looking at the fats. And when you do that over a period of time, you will learn what ingredients to buy at the store, not only to reach a fat loss goal, but you can build them in as your arsenal over a period of time. And then when you take all of this and then you create specific meals for yourself and you build out what I like to call your meal portfolio, that is what makes it way easier to then stay on track. Now, this is kind of a perfect segue for myself to go and dive into Elevation Nation, okay? Elevation Nation is my coaching community and my coaching program. It is filled of people who are all looking to become the best version of themselves and elevate their fitness and self-mastery. And during that time, do it in a community that is fun, where you're learning what foods you can have. And I have tons of different meal options in there. I have tons of different meal plans, and I have a step-by-step roadmap. So not only are you learning what to eat, not only are you learning what ingredients, what foods are gonna help you reach your specific goals for yourself, but some that are also gonna taste tasty to you as well. And at the same time, I'm building out roadmaps so that you're building in the right habits in order to be able to implement in your life, so that you're taking that vision for yourself, aka your goal, and then we're building the habit, structure, taking action, and then elevating or refining that over a period of time. So I have a very specific framework that I use for my Elevation Nation coaching clients. And if you would like in, then click the first link down in the description to join Elevation Nation today. I'm gonna have my call booking link down there, and I would love to connect with you to see if I can help you reach your fitness goals. And the worst thing that comes up of it is you just walk away with a game plan that you can implement, start taking action on, and make it happen. Whew, okay. That was definitely a mouthful, but before we get going, guys, I want to hear from you. What is one food that you absolutely love having on a daily basis? Even if you're in a fat loss phase, you cannot go without. And what is the one that maybe in this video I inspired you to look for some macro swapping variations as well? So if you enjoy pizza like myself, how can we make that happen? Maybe it's making that pita pizza. Drop in the comments, let me know what your favorite foods are, what your go-tos are, and hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, had some awesome takeaways from it as well. If you guys are new here and you did enjoy the video today, then please hit that subscribe button right up here. It would truly mean a lot to me. And also, if you enjoyed this video and you missed out on the last one, check that guy out right over here as well. Don't want to miss out on that one. Subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one very, very soon.